Welcome to Club Iñaki, where we interview local business owners in New Braunfels and San Antonio, Texas. Today we have Brittany Robbins, which owns Cycle Bar. Thank you for being here with us.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Awesome.
Tell us your story. How did you come about with Cycle Bar, and like what's the story there?
Yeah, so I actually get that question a lot. So my business partner and I actually have a business partner that's local as well. So we were driving to San Antonio, Stone Oak area, and we were cycling. And I thought, wow, this is so awesome. This community, this experience. We don't have anything like this in New Braunfels. So I was like, we should totally, bring this to New Braunfels. So that's kind of how the idea started. And we were going to actually Cycle Bar in Stone Oak. So it's a franchise we knew well. It's a business model we knew well because we were driving, 45 minutes to get there. And we were finding that a lot of people in New Braunfels were driving that far to have that cycling experience
Oh, wow.
also. So yeah, that's kind of how we came
Yeah,
up
and
with it.
what is Cycle Bar? Like, what do you do there?
Yeah, so Cycle Bar is a boutique cycling experience. So we say experience because we're in Club Inaki today. It's kind of like being in a club. You two have come. So, it's a boutique cycling experience, but it's really more than just cycling. It's a time for you to just reconnect with yourself. If you have a hard day, you go in, you just kind of let the music take you over, let the rhythm take you over. And it's really an experience where you can just connect to the bike, connect to yourself, reconnect with your own mind and, kind of flush out the outside world.
Nice.
So that's why we say an experience.
It's a good reboot.
You've been there a couple
I
of
have,
times. Yeah,
yes.
what's your experience there
It's
like?
it's not only an amazing workout, but again, to what you said, it really clears your head. Like that good cardio is kind of hard to do by yourself,
Yes.
If you're at the gym, like getting on the cycle bike for 45 minutes and riding hard like that is hard to do on your own. So
Yeah.
like having an instructor is
And
is
probably
awesome.
the group atmosphere as
And
well.
the group too.
Yeah.
Like you kind of feed off of each other's energy.
So how did y'all do like all through like COVID and things like that?
well, yeah.
I'm sure that was not an easy time.
No, so
because you couldn't be open, right?
No, yes and no. So we actually opened January of 2020. So, and it was great. Everything was, life was amazing. And then all of a sudden COVID came March and we were forced to shut down. Luckily, we were in Texas. So I know a lot of other workout facilities around the U.S. were hit a lot harder than us. But,
Yeah.
I think in Texas, people really wanted to get back into the community, back out living again. So luckily we were reopened in May, I think it was, but we only had 10 bikes. So our poor instructors were having to do, 10, 15 classes a day with 10 bikes. Yeah, it was a lot for them. And especially teaching a cycling teaching a cycling class is hard for 45 minutes and
Yeah.
then doing it, 10 times a day. But
Oh, my goodness.
luckily, COVID did, and I think people are still rebounding from COVID, especially since the economy is, it's a tough economy right now and, people are holding on to their paychecks. But, I think fitness is really important, especially, when you're so stressed. Being in a community and having that fitness community is really important for people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's how everything starts, right? Like if your mind's not right, if your fitness is not right, everything else is not going to be okay in your life. So I think it's important to have some sort of routine
Yeah.
as far as fitness goes, and being part of a class where you can just show up and basically not even think about it, right? Like there's
Yeah.
the instructor that guides you through the entire workout, and there's music there.
Yeah, yes. And, it's so funny. People are like, I'm scared of cycling. I don't like cycling. It's scary to me. And I'm like, really? I said, it's so fun. Everybody hates cardio, I think.
Yeah.
So it's more fun than anything.
Yeah.
And you can honestly go at your own pace. I think people get scared like, oh, I have to like be as fast or go as hard as everyone. And they don't pressure you to like follow the workout exactly.
Yep.
Like you can totally,
go
if you
at your
get
own
tired,
pace.
go at your own pace and
Nice.
get back into
Yeah, I
it.
remember you invited us to come over there.
Yes.
And, me and Melanie's husband Jacob, we were going really hard at
Yes,
it.
yes.
And
Very
we
competitive.
we always make. Doesn't he like didn't he cycle a lot like in
He did.
California? Yeah. So he's definitely on the cycling like regimen and routines. And for some reason, he says that his bike wasn't working that day, and he
Yeah,
ended up getting
I
second
remember
place.
that. So I actually know Jacob on a personal level, and I know how competitive he is. And I know Iñaki is also competitive. So it was really fun when you actually beat Jacob. So I kind of throw that in his face
For the record.
all the time. For the record, it's on record. But that's what's so amazing about it is some people are competitive. We've got a stats leaderboard. You can see where you rank in class. I'm not competitive on a workout level. I'm competitive naturally, but on a workout level, I actually don't even turn on my screen. So I actually don't even come up on the leaderboard.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what's so amazing. I don't really care what my class rank is. I don't care, what's going on. So, but people who are competitive, they like that drive. They like that push.
That motivates them.
It motivates them. And, so we've got a lot of different class types. We've got one that's called Connect, where you don't even turn on your monitors. It's more of a refocus, recharge. So there's no stats in that class. We've got an Empower class, which, strength is really big right now, strength training. So that's all strength training. And so there's a lot of different formats. You think you're going to go in for one class and it's something totally different. So,
Right.
yeah.
And so do people get like a membership, or do you pay per class? Or
Yes,
how
so
does
we've
that
got
work?
both. Yeah, we have a really flexible membership. So we've got a 4-time a month, 8-time a month, unlimited, and then we also have class packs. So we can do a drop-in ride, a 5-pack, a 10-pack, and we also have some really cool Black Friday specials coming out. So,
Oh, nice. And where you're located for?
so we're in Creekside, in Freiheit Village.
Okay, perfect. And I've always been curious about like being a franchise owner, right? Like there's so many different franchises that you can go into and start a business. So I'm curious about that experience.
Yes. So I know starting a business on your own is scary enough, right? So I think having a franchisor behind you really helps you. They kind of guide you on how to write your SBA loan. They guide you on your marketing. They guide you on what sales to do, what specials to do. They give you all the collateral. So I think for us, I really didn't know much about cycling. I just knew I really liked it.
Sure.
And I was like, wow, this is a need New Braunfels has. So I think picking the franchisor is really important because you have to know that they have the right tools for you to be successful.
Yeah, it's proven, right? It's something that already works, and
Yep.
then you can basically just take those systems and apply them.
Right.
And it's recognizable.
Yeah, and exactly. And it's really cool. So our franchisor, Exponential Fitness, has Pure Barre, Club Pilates, Stretch Lab. So we're under a big, so we're under a big umbrella of 12 different brands.
Okay.
So really they've got the model, they give you the model. And really when you go to another cycle bar in Austin, Dallas, wherever, all over the US, they just opened one in Japan, you're going to get the same experience, which and you're comfortable with.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty fun. And it's always a fun atmosphere whenever you
Yes.
go there.
It's like a club, like Club Inaki. It's
Yeah,
a club. There's music. There's lights. It's a really fun time.
And what about the shoes? Does everybody have to wear the shoes? Or?
You do have to wear the shoe. Well, yes and no. So we do have cages that we can put you in. We say you should be wearing the shoes that clip into the bike. It's a little more safe, a little more stable. But if you're comfortable not wearing the shoes, you don't have to wear the shoes.
Okay.
Yeah. I like wearing the shoes because it's a different workout. You work out different muscles.
Right.
So we stand up a lot on the bike. That's what, kind of sets us apart from different models is we do stand up and dance a lot. There's a lot of choreography. I think Jacob was even doing some.
Yes.
he was getting down. We do stand up a lot, so it's a lot, safer. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. Some people don't feel, the guys especially, they don't want to,
Bounce up and down.
they don't want to bounce. They don't want to do that. But it's everybody's own experience. Nobody's watching you. It's a
Right.
dark room.
That's what I like too.
Yes.
It's like the vibes in there. The music's loud. It's dark.
Dark.
You have like the red lights and they change too. So it's a nice little room in there. Just
Yeah.
to be
And really you're looking at yourself in the mirror. You're not looking at anybody.
right. Right.
I set myself right under the red light and go, oh girl, your muscles look good today.
Yes.
That's awesome. And what do you guys do for like marketing? Like how do you get people in the door to come?
Yeah,
check
that's a
out
great
this?
question. So we do have, Exponential Fitness, our franchisor does have a marketing budget. They do have some campaigns they do around our area, specific marketing, and then they do marketing all over the US. And then we also have a marketing company that we use to drive leads into our studio.
Nice. So you have both the franchise.
We've got both. And then we also have, we do what's called grassroots marketing. So especially in New Braunfels, everybody's connected. Everybody knows everybody. So it's really important for us to get out and do events and, connect with the local business owners and say, hey, we're here. So that's really important too, especially in New Braunfels. Now, if you're in a New York, not so much. But
Right.
New Braunfels, those areas, definitely.
How long have you been in New Braunfels?
Oh my gosh, 8 let me think, hold on, 18 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
18 years. Yeah, we moved here. So my husband's from Luling, and I'm from Houston originally, and we met at A&M. And then we were living in San Marcos, but we wanted a really great place to raise a family, and that's kind of why we settled on New Braunfels. So we've been here for a long time.
How do you come here before, or how did you find out about New Braunfels?
So I have a husband from Luling, so they don't stray too far from the realms.
Right.
But I'm not going to live in Luling. It's small. You know, there's not a lot of amenities. It's a
No
great
cycle bar
town.
there.
There's no cycle bar, but it's a great town. You know, it's great. But I was working in San Antonio at the time, and he was working, Luling, Lockhart, Shiner, those areas. So it was a good place in the middle.
Yeah.
And now he has a business here in town, so he's also a local business owner. So we've just really connected in with New Braunfels.
Nice. Yeah. What are some of your favorite things to do around here?
Oh God. Well, when I had young kids, so I have a daughter that's 16, almost 17. Oh my gosh. And then my son is 13. But when they were younger, we did all of the events. And that's what's so awesome about New Braunfels. There's so many local events. Wassel Fest, Wurst Fest, Wine and Zanger Fest. There's just so much to do. We love Wine and Zanger Fest, where we pour every year. Have y'all been to this event?
You know,
Is that the one in
Is that the
Green?
one?
No, it's downtown.
Oh, okay.
In
Is it when
May.
you walk around the
Yes.
sidewalks and everyone has a little table set
Yes.
out? We did that.
It's so fun.
Fest.
A Wassel Fest, you do that
There's
too.
the
Oh,
wine
yeah,
too.
There's a wine too.
And it's in October.
No, that one's in May.
That was your first day.
That was my first day.
First day working with me.
Oh.
So was it 4 years ago? 5 years ago? My very first day working, Cooper had a little table and I was pouring wine my very first day.
That's
We
so
have
fun.
been.
We
Yeah,
we
but-
pour wine every year there. It's so much fun, and it's a fun way to connect with people in the city because they think that you work for the winery. I'm like, I don't work for the wine. I'm a local.
Yeah.
But we used to take our kids to all of that, and it's just really fun because it's a big town, but it's really small. It's a small town. You've got a lot of charms, and so we did a lot of that. Not so much anymore. We're getting busier with
Yeah.
sports, and,
Right.
Yeah. Have you seen the town grow since you've been here?
Oh my God. Yes. So I was laughing, being from Houston.
Yeah.
When we first moved here, there were not very many restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And, Creekside was Fields, the Target was over by where At Home was. Like it was small, very quaint, and I liked it, but I was driving to downtown San Antonio every day for work. But yeah, I think it was like 58,000 people when I moved here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's doubled.
Yeah, it's doubled,
Double
yeah.
plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're a little over 100 now.
I think so.
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Just keeps growing.
Yeah, and then how did y'all know about New Braunfels?
So I'm from Gonzales,
Mm-hmm.
so right next to Luling. So I grew up coming here, going to Schlitterbahn and all that. And then when we were out in Cali, when Jacob was in the Marines, we knew we wanted to be in the Central Texas area. And honestly, there's no better place than New Braunfels. If you want not San Antonio, not Austin,
Right.
you still wanted somewhat of a small town feel.
Right.
This is kind of the best.
And it is a really great place to raise kids. I tell people that all the time. Like there is just so much for these kids to do. It's funny growing up. We did the skating rink. I know I'm a little older than y'all, but we did skating rinks. We did.
Yeah.
But there's so much. Like my kids, I drop them off at Schlitterbahn. I can, they go to the movies. It really is a safe, fun town for kids.
Yeah, yeah.
And they all know each other. My kids' best friends go to New Braunfels High School, so they all know each other from growing up here. So
Right.
It's fun.
Right.
How did you and Richard meet?
At A&M.
Yes.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at, no, we actually met on Bourbon Street.
That's right.
That is, yes. So I was there for work. I was doing work in college for a travel company, and he was there for his sister's 21st birthday. And there was a bar, the Famous Door, and he asked me to dance. And I said, no, thank you. And my friend said, oh my gosh, he's so cute. You've got to dance with him. I said, okay, fine. So we start dancing, and he said, I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from a really small town you've never heard of called College Station, Texas.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh gosh, I pulled out my student ID. I said, guess again. So that's kind of how we met.
It was like jackpot.
It was jackpot. Yeah, we
Yeah.
lived not even a mile from each other at the time.
Wow.
We didn't know it. He's a little older than me. So he had graduated at that point, but he was still working in town. So.
Yeah. And he's been working out or something. He's been looking
Oh my
good
God.
lately.
He has been working out and doing the sauna, the cold plunge, all the things.
Has he been cycling?
He does cycle, yes. He
Okay.
cycles, he lifts weights. So he actually has a really strict diet.
Really?
He's a lot more strict than me on a diet. So
Yeah.
I like the bread. He does not. So
That's pretty good.
It's hard to stay away
Jacob's
from.
been motivating him on the diet, on the
nice.
carnivore diet.
yeah.
Well, you know, he's on it too.
Yeah.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
So all the guys are on it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no,
So
there's
I
no
did-
way
Yeah.
I could do that.
I did 60 days straight without any cheating, and
No alcohol.
no alcohol.
Oh my gosh.
Only meat, no carbs, no sugars.
Were you getting meat sweats?
At the beginning, it takes it takes a few days to like adapt.
Yeah.
Acclimate.
Yeah, but once you're like on it and you've
Yeah.
been on it for like a couple weeks, you don't even look at the other food. Like it's not even
Yeah.
like I don't even want it. I'm just look forward to my ribeyes at
Oh
night.
gosh, yes.
Yeah,
Richard's. Well,
that's true.
they've convinced him to do the carnivore diet, so
Yeah.
he's on meat.
Yeah, yeah,
Not for me.
yeah.
I like sweets.
No,
and
yeah.
alcohol.
Well, and the thing is, once I kind of got off of it
Mm-hmm.
and I had a sweet, then all of a sudden I wanted more sweets.
Yes.
Like it was like addicting, you know. It's like the sugar.
Sugar.
It makes you want it more. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think that's the best diet for me personally because
Sure.
the thing about diets with me is that I don't really have a portion control, and with the carnivore you can eat as much as you want
Right.
until you're full.
Well, when you're satisfied, I think
Satisfied.
more
Yeah, exactly.
faster, which
But
is like,
but there's really no snacks, right? Like you're not eating like Cheetos or just snacks from the pantry, and that's what gets me. You know, in the middle of the night, just creeping over to the pantry.
snack.
Yeah,
it's hard. And especially being on a diet right now with Thanksgiving next week.
Oh, I
like,
know.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
too hard.
It's so hard.
I know, but you know, I'm on a little break right now.
Little break for the holidays.
I love to bake. That's the issue too.
Yeah.
I love that's kind of like
Really?
my stress. I love it. It's my stress relief. So it's so funny. I've been on this sourdough journey. I know. Don't even ask. I've been growing this sourdough for like a month now.
No way.
And I keep baking bread every night. And Richard's like, stop making bread. Because it's really good. I mean, it's really good.
you got to perfect your
Oh,
recipe.
and I've got to perfect it. I got to
craft.
do all the things. And he's like, stop, just stop. I'm like, I know I can't. So
That's so wild. Well, we're actually gonna have two tarts in so a bakery on the
nice.
podcast as well.
Well, I think she was just on April.
baking.
She was just on the Big Baking Show
Yes.
too. That's so awesome. New Braunfels is really getting
Yeah.
we're getting a little big.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
We're famous.
She said that her what was it, the cinnamon rolls?
Cinnamon rolls.
Oh, yes.
She made them on the show, and then people started calling the bakery asking for them.
Really?
And they've been selling out before noon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every day.
People are buying them by the dozen.
My son just asked for cinnamon rolls this morning. He's like, you said they take an hour. You need to start now. I said, I went out to Las Fontanas last night. And I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. I got to do this podcast. I'm like, I am not making sense. Now I know I need to call Two Tarts.
Just go to Two Tarts. It's done for you.
That's good to know.
Yes.
Yeah, I love Two Tarts.
Are you making anything for Thanksgiving?
Okay, so I actually ordered my turkey this year.
Oh, nice.
I'm not making a turkey. Lazy J Cajun. Have y'all ever been there?
No.
Oh my God. Okay, so it's off of 1102, Lazy J.
Okay.
They used to be, they used to be off 1102, but they've been growing so much. Well, they do crawfish, a lot of Cajun food, live music, typically during the summer. So it's really fun. Well, he just advertised that he's doing these Cajun dipped turkeys. Oh my gosh. So I sent it to Richard, and Richard's like, yes.
Yes.
That makes it
Anything
so
better than a
easy.
dry turkey. He's like, yes, order. So I'm actually getting my turkey.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll probably do sourdough.
Okay. Okay.
I've got a ton of it and I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to keep that
It's
thing
ready.
Did you say you're gonna make?
I think I'm going to do a dessert charcuterie board.
Oh, fun. Okay.
I've been getting inspiration off Pinterest and
Yes.
all these dessert little like hodgepodge boards. So I'm going to work on that today.
Isn't it crazy how Pinterest has just like changed
Pinterest.
every holiday?
Yes.
Like every holiday, everybody's like Martha Stewart. And I'm like, wait, I just want to go back in time where I didn't have to do all this.
know,
And now we do like the Elf on the Shelf, all the, I'm like, oh God.
Were your kids, was that a thing for them?
Elf on a Shelf was massive. And then luckily my son got old enough and I was like, I don't have to ever do this thing again.
Yeah.
That's so fun. You know, Sam has Annie. She's 8 years old, and she's avoided to getting her the elf on the shelf
Oh,
for the
yeah.
longest time.
Really?
I didn't know that. Me and Annie go to HEB, and I see one. And I
no.
buy her one. And Sam's like, "What did you do?" Now I have to,
Now I have to do things.
Yeah.
Well, I saw this one thing on Facebook. It was so funny. It was this mom who destroyed her kitchen, pasta, like colored flakes everywhere. And she's like, I don't love my kids this much. Nobody does.
And are you supposed to do it like every day in December or what's the what's the
every
plan?
day in December. So it's supposed to keep the kids good, right? So the elf is always watching, but then I'm like, that's creepy. I don't want somebody always watching me. That's weird. So the elf elf is always watching.
Yeah.
And if you touch it, it won't go to the North Pole to tell Santa that you were a good boy or girl.
So you're not allowed to touch it.
You're not allowed to touch it. So the elf sits there and watches you.
Yeah.
But at night, it causes mischief.
Okay. Okay.
Very bizarre if you think about it.
So Sam didn't play, and she didn't do anything with it, and so Annie was like, "I think this one's broken."
Yes. Yes.
like, yeah,
Well,
it's
the
perfect.
best thing was during COVID. Oh my gosh, during COVID, my elf had to go into quarantine. So I put it in a pipe and I'm like, sorry, here's your little toilet paper. He's in COVID for 2 weeks or in quarantine for 2 weeks. Sorry, you're out.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Very believable.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The elf is sick.
Yeah, the elf is
Sorry,
sick.
guys.
Gotta go into quarantine.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
That's so
Are
funny.
you gonna do? Do you have any ideas for
what?
For Annie?
For what?
For the elf?
For the elf?
You have to do it now.
You got to do it now.
No,
It's yours.
That was last year, and it's no longer a thing.
Good. Good.
Yeah, we're not doing the elf.
Good. The elf. Oh, yeah, no. I don't miss those days.
Yeah. I did just try to have a Santa Claus come to the holiday party. I texted Santa this morning.
Do you know
fun.
that I had that idea this morning?
No way.
And I was going to tell you that today.
I texted a Santa Claus, and he's busy that day. But we should find one.
We need to find one.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
I
sure-
literally had
are
that
there
same
any Santas
idea.
out there?
Yeah.
We need a
Santas,
Santa.
please DM us.
You can come to Club Inaki.
Yes.
Did you get the invite?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Yep. I just have to respond.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in my inbox.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
The holiday party season is about to be on us.
Last year, I tried to do my own charcuterie board, and I just put, like wax paper on
Yeah.
my entire island. And I just went to HEB, and I just got a bunch of meats, pretzels, and
You
things
spent
like that.
$5,000 on,
Yeah.
on
Just
cheeses
about.
and those
Exactly.
charcuterie boards
Charcuterie boards
are
are-
insane.
That's what I was gonna say. I filled out my carts, and then I checked out. I was like, "Oh my god, I should have just hired somebody to do this."
No,
'Cause then I had so
that's
much extra.
expensive too. I'm
Yeah.
like, those charcuterie boards, like they look really pretty, but to fill those things up, it's going to be like expensive.
And very rarely do you have a party and it all gets eaten, you know?
Right. Well, I was saying charcuterie board for the next 2 weeks.
Yes, yes, I do remember that.
I do love a charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Me too.
So we're gonna have to find something different this time.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not do your whole island.
Yeah. Maybe not the whole.
Yeah,
lot.
maybe just a regular
board.
Yeah.
Just a regular board, but then you can do your dessert.
Do a dessert board. Yeah.
I want to see a picture of that.
I'm thinking I might make a few items, but I think I might go to Two Tarts and just like
Smart.
Oh yeah, there you go.
hodgepodge together and
Pretend you baked it
You
all.
did it. Yeah. Yeah. That
no
would
one
be
will
good.
know.
I'm gonna pretend I made the turkey.
Yeah.
No one will know.
Sorry, Lazy J.
So Lazy J, is it open? It's open all the time and
You know,
has crawfish and
Yeah,
everything?
I think they're open all the time, but during crawfish season, like that's when it really
Okay.
it's busy there. Yeah, and it's fun. Live music. There's a bar.
That's cool.
It's outdoors, so you have to sit outdoors. So
Yeah.
it's bad weather, but
Gotcha. And just going back to Cycle Bar for a little
yes.
bit so we can wrap up. What would you recommend, like if somebody's looking to, open a franchise, whether it's Cycle Bar or something else, like what was that process of, like, did you just like Cycle Bar and you were like, this is what I'm doing? Or did you like interview the franchisor, or how does that
yes. So we actually you have to do a whole vetting process. So we actually had to go out to California and get vetted ourselves.
Okay.
To make sure that we were, we have the means, we have the wherewithal to stand, owning a small business is hard.
Yeah.
It's not for the weak of personalities. So so we actually had to go out, get vetted. They walked us through the whole process, to get your loans, to get your leases. We had to use it was a franchise real estate agent that had to come in and actually look for our space. And I'm sure you guys know all about the real estate areas, but I'm not familiar. But they use where the growth is going to be, like the growth potential is going to be in New Braunfels, and they knew that Creekside was the big growing area. So that's kind of where we picked to have our business. But yeah, I mean, definitely interview the franchisor, interview other people who have bought into the franchise. And then make sure it's something you really want to do. Make sure it's a need that is really in the community. And
Yeah. Do you spend much time with it, or do you have
luckily I have a really good general manager and I have a
Okay.
good sales manager. So luckily they take a lot, because I do have another job. So that's good too. You can have a business and then still have another job as well.
Right.
Some people choose to be the general managers for their locations. But we actually have a really good general manager who's also an instructor. And then we have a sales manager who's also an instructor. So they're there kind of all day, every day and see the ins and outs.
Yeah.
And they know a lot more than me because they're actual instructors. It's hard, y'all. It is hard to be an instructor.
And I can't. Do they do back-to-back classes, or is they?
Sometimes they do, but to be an instructor, you have to go through training, like rigorous training. And it's like a 5-week program.
Okay.
And so I actually went through the training.
Oh, okay.
And I auditioned and I failed, you guys.
Really?
I have been a dancer,
That's hard to believe.
a competitive dancer my whole life, and I did not even make it through. It is hard.
And
So,
like, why do you fail? Like, what's
well,
really
I think
looking
mine
for-
was more timing. Like I couldn't get the timing down.
Oh, okay.
Because so Cycle Bar we're rhythm based, but we go with RPMs that are based on the beat of the music, which I can hear beats. I've been a dancer,
Yeah.
and I just could not get. And being in front of a room full of people that you're trying to motivate
And you're riding a bike at the same time.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not an inspirational speaker. Like I like to crack a lot of jokes. So I do instruct on our annual anniversary. So
You do?
everybody said, I've been to all of your classes. I'm like, all 3. So I have actually taught. So you should actually come out.
I
for
would
my
love
class.
to. We
It's
need
really
to.
fun. But the whole time I am like roasting people. And one of my instructors was like, you can't do that. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's a lot of fun. People come in from Austin. But a lot of people on our anniversary, which is coming up in January, our 4-year, is coming up in January. So it's a huge party week. Like we have so much fun all week. So
Nice.
it'll be fun.
Nice.
We should
We'll have to do
definitely
that.
go to that.
Y'all should. It is fun.
Yeah.
So, and we get a margarita machine. We,
Oh, nice.
do all
love
the
that.
things. Yeah.
It's balance. It's
No.
balance.
Maybe Jacob can try to beat me this time.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. We'll make sure
there's
his
the
bike
test.
isn't broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob.
That's so funny. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I
Thanks for
appreciate it.
having me. I loved hanging out at the club today.
Yeah. This
is fun.
This is our first one here in the studio.
I
So
feel so special. Thank you.
yeah, for sure. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks
Yeah.
for watching Clubbing Yaki.